I just barely squeaked by. Lisa, Ben, as far as your decision is concerned, I just want to give you some reassuring words about it. Before I continue, everyone makes mistakes. That said, I want to start off by telling you, ladies and gentlemen, a story about a match made in the stars. It's a true story. It begins some years ago when these two individuals I know so well were introduced to each other by a trusted and respected person they both knew in common. Like any good fairy tale, the story begins with people separated by an enormous distance. One was living in Dallas, and the other was living in New York. After some time and anticipation, the New Yorker decides to move down to Dallas. They meet that first night at a romantic restaurant, look deeply into each other's eyes, and without uttering a single word, both of them are on exactly the same wavelength, thinking exactly the same thing. I've never met such an obnoxious person in my life. But enough about how Ben and I met. Let's start with Ben. If I could pick two words that best describe Ben and embody who he is, it would be Brooks Brothers. No man wears so much of, and so closely embodies the style of Brooks Brothers quite like Ben. In the boardroom, or ziplining through the jungles of Costa Rica, actually not as true, asking for a photo. And is never seen without some support from the Brooks Brothers team. To give you all a better sense of Ben, I looked up the tenets of the Brooks Brothers brand, and they were listed as follows. Fashion innovation, fine quality, personal service, and exceptional value. So let's break these down and see how they describe it. They say you emulate those who respect most. Now, for my girlfriend Mary, there's no one in the world who I love more than my grandfather. He and Ben share some very fundamental similarities. They're compassionate, intelligent, thoughtful, and both are devoted partners. The one thing my grandfather is not, and I emphasize is not, is a fashion innovator. In fact, I would say my grandfather dresses like, well, grandfather. Ben's met my grandfather. Among the many wonderful praises he sang of him, the one he was most adamant about, and again, this is absolutely true, how stylish my grandfather dresses. So there you have it, Brooks Brothers, what every grandfather and executive in a financial services company should wear. And neither my grandfather nor Ben would be caught in anything less innovative. Now, when we talk about fine quality, we enter a world you know better than Ben. Whether it's the finest hotels in the world, the most sought-after tables, and the best restaurants, or the best wine to suit the current palate, Ben is your go-to man for the inside scoop. Once asked to describe the venue of a New Year's party he was attending, Ben replied, well, it's sufficiently upscale. So Ben is definitely a connoisseur of the finer things in life. But it's personal service that stands out as his most key attribute. Ben is the constant host. Anyone who knows him knows that Ben will bend over backwards to make you feel at ease and at home when you're around him. Whether it's the peanuts you love, which you make sure to have when you visit, or the late night check on your well-being, Ben's always there for the people he cares about. It's what will make him an amazing father. Now, I mentioned before how Ben and my initial meeting went. Not so well. But we had to tolerate each other because I was planning on spending a few nights in Dallas at Ben and his roommate's place. It's in those days that I started to gain a whole new appreciation for Ben and his hospitality. So much so that I extended my stay at his place a little bit longer, by about half a year or so. And so started an amazing friendship, one that will probably end tonight with a speech. I started to learn more about Ben during that time, such as the last Brooks Brothers trait he shares, exceptional value. Now, Ben's truly a generous man. It goes along with his personal service trait. But he's also a man who values, well, a good value. It's not that Ben skims on giving to others. He often gives to those he knows, and even those he doesn't. And it's not that Ben skips on enjoying life, such as sufficiently upscale menus. How shall I say it? Well, let's let Ben's poetic words speak for themselves. I ate the most, and I paid the least. But you guard your food tonight. Well, I want to give you some thoughts on Lisa. Lisa, you didn't escape. The night I first met Lisa was at dinner with close friends. Showing how head over heels he was for her, Ben started to tell us a moving story about the first time he told Lisa he loved her. I don't think Ben made it 4 sentences in the story before Lisa jumped in. No, you're telling it all wrong. Oh, wait a second, I told myself. This girl, and she did. Here's my friend pouring his heart out, proclaiming his love for this girl. Bam. She just pauses in mid-sentence. Then I listened to what Lisa had to say. It turns out her story was a lot better than that. More importantly, I did something else, which I suggest you all do tonight. I'm very young, so I look deep into Lisa's eyes. Okay. Sorry, Ben. No. Sorry, Mary. Behind those brilliant eyes, you'll see a person that has a heart of gold. She's caring. She's sensitive. Sometimes overly so. She just can't hide the goodness in her heart. More importantly, when Ben looks into her eyes, she makes him truly happy. And for that, I can't thank you enough. Well, what can I say? They fit. When they're together, the room is full of energy and warmth. Let me describe to you how it's like to be around the two of them. How many people here like tennis? Nothing like sitting center court and watching a good rally. Of course, as the ball goes back and forth, and your neck might start hurting a bit if the rally really lasts. That's a bit how it's like talking to Lisa and Ben. You just lob the serve. So guys, nice day outside, isn't it? Boom, boom, boom. About 2 hours later, not having managed to add another single word, you emerge dizzy from all the back and forth. But in the process, you've laughed, you've cried, you've learned about philosophy, culture, politics, and the world just feels like a better place because of the energy you scoop and pour into it together. So I'll leave you now with a few quotes from my good friend Ben, who's spoken to me on an almost daily basis. She's my dream girl. She's the love of my life. She's the most important thing to me above everything else. Lisa, Ben, L'chaim.
L'chaim.